First round action continues across the league tonight. Game 3 starting with the Knicks and Pistons. Detroit managed to win one on the road at the Garden with the series all tied up. Who will take the advantage tonight? Then you've got Memphis hosting OKC for the next 2 games, down 2 games in the series. Well, being at home turned things around for the Grizzlies. And the late game right here on NBA TV, the Clippers hosting the Nuggets after stealing one on the road behind Kawhi Leonard's 39 points. Who goes up in the series tonight? Hello and welcome in to Playoff Central Live. We have got 3 exciting games on tap for this Thursday night. We're going to get you ready for all the action. Ashley Shamedy here with Quentin Richardson. Carlos Boozer. Guys, these first round series matchups have been really exciting. And starting with the first one with the Knicks and the Pistons, it's been everything and more. But overall, with the 3 games tonight, Quentin, I can start with you. What are you most looking forward to for these games?
I'm looking forward to the competitiveness, man. We got this Minnesota Lakers game at the end of the night. That's my highest peak of interest right there. I want to see what Ant-Man does in his home game debut in this series. I want to see how LeBron and Luka bring it, obviously, and the others. But for me, that's the big game of the night for me right there. That's my highest level of intrigue is right there.
Okay. Carlos, what you got?
I'm looking at Detroit, New York. I just think this series has been not what I thought it was going to be. I thought New York would have a stranglehold on it, but once the ball went up in game 1, it looks like Detroit's been the more aggressive team, the more physical team. We talked about physical basketball being back in this series. So I'm looking forward to seeing who wins game 3.
And I know the city of Detroit, downtown Detroit, Michigan, is absolutely bumping and alive tonight for this playoff game. With that, it tips off at 7 o'clock on TNT. But let's go ahead and bring in our guest for the night. We've got Rick Mahorn here.
OG.
Rick, obviously, just Detroit. Big man, a great for the Pistons, but also the Pistons radio analysis. Rick, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. First off, I got to ask, tell me about the energy at Little Caesars Arena, just having a home playoff game there. What's it been like so far?
The thing has been trying to get a parking space. Everybody's here. And you want to know something? It's just electrified the city. We have not been in the playoffs since I don't know when. I don't even want to know. But the fact of the matter is that fans here are very supportive of all our sports teams. And you got the Lions, who did a great job this year, didn't win a chip. You got the Tigers, who were in the playoffs last year and coming in real strong now. You got the Red Wings embarking, but now you got the Pistons, baby. This is what you want. Detroit basketball.
OG, what's going on? You know, I know how you used to lay it down out there with the physical play. How good does it feel to have a team there that's kind of getting you back to the fabric of the city and the way you guys were as the bad boys? These guys, Durant, Beef Stew, they're not afraid to mix it up. How good is it for you to be on the watch and calling those games, watching how they getting it done?
Well, Q, you know, when you came in the league, you always got to have these savvy veterans with you. And having guys like Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, and also Tim Hardaway Jr., these guys kind of sew the fabric together. I know you used to call me Unc, and they call them the Unks as well. So this is the fun part of it. And then you bring in J.B. Bickerstaff, who is kind of a no-nonsense type coach, which you need to have discipline, especially a team that lost all those games last year, only won 14 games. But now you got a resurgence of what Detroit basketball is all about, the physicality. You got to replicate the teams from the 04 boys, from our bad boy days. Now it's like going to work, guys.
Rick, how you doing, man? It's Booze. I hope you're doing great. I know you pumped for the game. What's up, baby? I want to talk to you about Cade Cunningham. He's kind of just blossomed right in front of our eyes. You see him on a daily basis. Talk to me about his leadership, the role that he stepped into for this team. Being in the playoffs right now, it doesn't seem like it's fazed him at all.
Well, there's a lot of pressure being the first pick of the draft, and you know how that is when you're the number 1 pick. The fact is, this young man is coming here and been very poised, but opportunity, he grows the game as he dissects the game from the first quarter, from the tip to the fourth quarter. So, I mean, Pistons beat them 7 out of 8 quarters, but this one is very important. Now we got to protect home.
Rick, Jalen Brunson has obviously been able to do Jalen Brunson things, but Karl Anthony Towns held to just 10 points in that Game 2 matchup and 0 in the second half. What was the key on him defensively? What do the Pistons need to do to just continue to shut down some of those other stars beside Jalen?
Well, first and foremost, you got a Cat playing outside shooting threes. So you put a guy like Tobias Harris, who's very good defensively, using his feet, using his structure, using his body and cutting off the court. So Cat can't get open looks. He's a quick shooter. So you got another guy who shoots the threes as well. So you try to take that away from him and not let him get on the box. The only time he's really effective is when they bring in Mitchell Robinson, and then he goes to that 4 position and Mitchell can get all the rebounds. But the fact is, Cat's got to step up if New York wants to win.
OG, finish this sentence for me. Detroit goes up 2-1 if what happens?
The bench play of Malik Beasley didn't have a great shooting game, but yet the bench play has been very good. Holland's coming off the bench. All the others has to really step up on this game because they're concentrating on Cade. They're concentrating on what the Pistons did well in New York, but it's also the others. And you know how that is when it comes to playoffs. You and Q been there, know what it's like when you cut off the head of the snake, somebody else got to grow.
Rick, before we let you go, we got to throw it back to your playing days and when you were just absolutely dominating down there. And we've got some footage of you from those days. So we want to take a look at
Not the tight shorts. Not the tight shorts.
Hop in the Mandalorian, OG. Let's go back in time.
It's with our own friend, Charles Barkley, too. So this one's fun. Look at this, getting a little bit chippy.
Yeah.
That was in Detroit. That was when I came back after I got left unprotected and got traded from Minnesota to Philly. But the fact of the matter is, and James Edwards is my best friend, and we were going out. I was staying at his house. That's what was so bad about it. But it was the fact is that, the physicality is back. I like it as the end of the year. You don't hear much of the guys complaining because you have to fight through it. You guys know how we played in the park or pickup games. You got to have physicality. It's no more, let's go to the hoop and let's have some fun. Nah, this is money on the line, money on the table. Let's go.
Rick, give us another Detroit basketball before we let you go.
Detroit basketball.
So good. You love to hear it. Thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate your time. Have fun tonight.
Yes, sir.
Respect
OG.
and love of all three of y'all.
Thanks, OG.
That is going to be a fun game, that's for sure. He's not wrong. The physicality of this series thus far. I know, the Pistons have kind of controlled a lot of the game for these first 2 matchups, and then just being able to play with the lead, keep the lead going down the stretch. Obviously, in Game 1, we saw the Knicks go on that 21-0 run, and then in Game 2, they were able to obviously finish with that lead. But is that just them being young and they've got to learn how to play with a lead?
I they're figuring it out. This is the first time this group's been in the playoffs, but I like the physicality. I think Durant and Stewart are doing a great job of mixing it up inside. They're making it tougher on Cat. I think Cat is the key to this team for the Knicks to have a chance and to hold him to 10 points. You put Tobias Harris on him. Shout out to Tobias, man. He's one of those veteran guys in that locker room who's playing 40 minutes a night in this series, averaging a double-double, playing extremely well. And holding Cat, he was a starter in the NBA All-Star game this year, to just 10 points and 0 in the second half. Great job by those guys.
Q, is this your favorite kind of basketball? Physical?
Absolutely. When you look at it, Detroit has answered the bell. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it, they went to one of the most hostile environments in the NBA, Madison Square Garden. And this is a young team, not a lot of playoff experience and this and that with a few veterans. They went in there and, like he just said, 7 out of 8 quarters, they won. Mm-hmm. They stumbled in the fourth quarter and they let them get on that 21-0 run. Outside of that, they've had this series in their hand in good control. So coming back home, they should feel good that they're returning home. Their fans are going to be ready. Mm-hmm. Like Rick said, they have a great fan system there in Detroit, and they're going to be ready. And I feel like they just got to do what they've been doing and not have any lapses and everybody support each other and play the way you've been playing. They've had a great series so far outside of that fourth quarter.
I know it's got to feel good to get a playoff win under their belt. They broke this drought, 17-year drought. May 2008 was the last time they won a playoff game. They had a playoff series in 2019, and now at home they're going to look to break that losing streak as well. That's what you see right there on your screen. So the physicality of this series has been there from start to finish, and both coaches are taking note.
Huge discrepancy in free throws. Huge. And look, I really don't give a crap how they call the game as long as it's consistent on both sides. So if Cunningham's driving and there's marginal contact and he's getting to the line, then Jalen deserves to be getting to the line. It's really that simple.
We're happy with the way the games are being called. We can survive physicality. And when you look at the comparison between the guys who are handling the ball the majority of the time, I think the fouls are being called, how they're being called. But again, I love the listen.
I know Detroit has to be happy after that one. They had 34 free throw attempts in game 2 versus the 19 for the Knicks. Are you guys seeing anything with this free throw discrepancy? I mean, are the Knicks, do they need to be more aggressive, do more to get to the free throw line? Booth?
I mean, I like the way the game's been called, honestly. I'm not going to put it on the officials. Obviously, I think it's between the 10 guys on the court who is more aggressive, who's more assertive, who's being more presence in the paint. I mean, don't get me wrong. Guys get fouled, you call the foul, but this is what playoff basketball is supposed to be. When me and Q was playing, it got more physical and the refs let more stuff go. So if I'm a coach, I'm not going to complain about the referees. I'm just going to make sure my players are more aggressive.
Yeah, and speaking of what Boo said, when we played, it was about the team that set the tone. If you go out there and you set the tone from the beginning of the game and you playing physical, this is a playoff basketball game. No set of referees are going to be able to call every single foul. So if you come out from the tip and you set the tone like we playing this physical brand of ball, the other team just going to look softer. Mm-hmm. Because we're out here playing the right way, and if they're not calling it, you seeing the way the game is going, you supposed to heighten the level of your physicality to respond and meet us. If you don't do that, you allowing us to dictate the pace and the tone of the game, and that's on you.
Jalen Brunson has been doing his part. He was 9 of 11 from the free throw line in game 2. He's also averaging 35.5 points per game in these first 2. Maybe need some help from some of those other players, some of those other starters, some of the guys off the bench. One of them being Karl Anthony Towns. We saw what he was able to do in game 1, but for some reason just couldn't really get much going offensively in game 2. We heard what Rick had to say. What do you guys think about Karl Anthony Towns? Is he going to be just an integral part if the Knicks want to try and win this series?
I think he got to get back on the box. I think he's taking too many jump shots. He is a very good jump shooter, but when he's in the paint like that, causing havoc, it just puts his team in an advantage. If he's in the paint, he's a high percentage shooter in there. He can go both ways. He's got a lot of good footwork, a lot of stuff in there. He also can get to the free throw line. The last game was the first game in his NBA career in the playoffs where he didn't even take a free throw. Mm-hmm. That's how unassertive he was. Crazy. You need a Karl Anthony Towns to be in the paint, in the box, mixing it up. I mean, shoot your jump shot because that's one of his talents that he could do. But get back in the paint.
Yeah, I agree 100% with Booz. Like even if you're not posting up, don't just settle. Drive the ball. He's a good driver for a big guy. He can get the ball and put it on the ground and get to the basket and make plays. Like he said, score over him or get fouled. Don't just settle. And I'm in the same thing. And we're not taking the 3-pointer away from you because that's, like he said, that's a weapon of his. He's one of the best shooting bigs in the history of the game. So we're not telling you don't do it, but you got to mix it in. You definitely have to mix it up and go to the paint and get to the basket more than you have in the last game.
Jalen Brunson has been doing his thing. Let's see if these other guys can get going for the Knicks if they want to try and steal one of these next 2 on the road in Detroit. We'll also untap Thunder with a 2-0 series lead over the Grizzlies.
I mean, it's a great environment. We can't wait to play in this environment. This is the best time of year for this reason, and it'll be a live crowd and an energized team, and it's a great challenge for us.
Good teams make runs, and we just got to make ours too. We go back home, play in front of our fans. We go protect home court when we're in a good spot.
Obviously, we had a high win season, but we knew during that stretch is we can't get complacent with any of these games. We understand what's at stake. We understand the weight of every challenge. And so I think that just helped build our muscle for whenever we come to the postseason. We don't get complacent here either.
Well, this first round series has been a little bit lopsided, you guys. After OKC's historic game 1 win by 51 points, they followed it up with another big win in game 2. You can see right here, highest scoring margin in the first 2 games of postseason all time. They're second on the list, a 70-point differential. I mean, we obviously know what OKC has done all season long. There's 68 regular season wins. That's there for a reason. So we knew what they were going to be able to do in this playoff series. But were you guys surprised at all at just how much they were able to win by or how maybe lopsided the first two games have been at all?
I kind of expected the first game. I mean, no one expected to be 51 points.
Right.
But I felt like Memphis didn't have enough time to adjust because they had the playing games. They had to prepare. They didn't have enough time to really get ready for an OKC team who checks off all the boxes. They play defense. They got guys that can knock down threes. They got a closer in Shea. They're well coached. They're disciplined. Like, they're the number one seed for a reason, and they're playing like one.
I was surprised. I mean, a year ago, obviously last season they had injuries, they had the suspensions. We knew it was kind of a mess over there. But prior to that, they were trying to get to the Western Conference Finals, and they had basically their full complement back. They had to fight through, the play-in, but I felt like the way they were looking, that they would be a lot more competitive than this. I feel like for whatever reason, they hadn't put their best foot forward in this series and done the things that I feel like that team is capable to do as constructed right now. I didn't see 51 points in this record from 85, 86, and I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be more competitive than that.
Yeah. Well, you saw Ja Morant do a little bit more Ja Morant things in game 2, but their big three is no match for Oklahoma City's big three, and we've seen them do it all season long. It's these three guys right there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams. These three have not stopped since the beginning of the season. And look, we were talking about it before we even got on air. Carlos, you mentioned this. SGA isn't even playing to the ability that we've seen him play at, and they're cruising like this.
That's what's impressive to me. Like, he usually averages, 32, 35 points a game. He's chilling, and they're still winning by 20-plus points. Like, that's impressive to me. It just speaks to their depth, their unison, like how their chemistry. And the other thing is, Memphis can't stop them from scoring. That's just the bottom line. They have a hard time stopping these guys from knocking down shots.
And let's be honest, he only averaging that little points because he's not playing.
That's all it is.
We blowing him out of the water. I don't get to play in the second half. I'm just literally chilling. Yeah. Before I even, really get cooking, we up 20-30, and now I got to come out the game. So this is not what I expected from this series at all.
But Q, now, in Memphis, they've got these two next games. Mm-hmm. What can the Grizzlies do to try and at least win one to avoid splat?
They got to come out and punch them first tonight. They got to come out with all of the energy, give their crowd something to get excited about and be into the game. And they got to overwhelm them. They got to overwhelm them with the crowd when they come off the bench. They have to have a certain level of energy and maintain hopefully what the starters are able to do. Other than that, they won't have a chance. If they give OKC a chance to settle in and get back into this game without building a substantial lead, I don't see them having a chance this game.
You see the guy on the screen right there, Ja Morant? He got to have a crazy
night. Go nuclear.
Yeah, he got to go nuclear and just have a 40-point night. You saw how Kawhi came out in Game 2 after losing Game 1 to the Nuggets. Had a huge night. That's the kind of night that this Grizzlies team need. Yeah, do the others have to step up? We want to see more from Zach Edey, of course. We want to see more than 14 bench points. We want to see the others. But sometimes you got to follow your leader, and I'm looking at Ja Morant. Can you lead this team to a victory in Game 3 at home?
Will Ja Morant have what'd you say, nuclear night? That's what we need to see from Ja in order for the Grizzlies to hopefully get a win back at home. Now to the series some are saying is maybe most difficult to pick a winner. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets travel to L.A. to face the Clippers in Game 3. Welcome back to Playoff Central Live. Kawhi Leonard looking like the playoff Kawhi we've seen before. In Game 2, he put up 39 points, and this is promising for the Clippers because if you look what's on your screen right now, 2019 with the Raptors, his points and rebounds, that's what he averaged. 2014 with the Spurs, and in both of those years, they won an NBA title. So if things keep trending this way for the Clippers, maybe history will repeat itself for Kawhi, for the Clippers. This series has delivered, though, in every possible way thus far.
I think if you're a basketball fan, I think this is probably the best basketball you can watch. It's both ends, like even mistakes, even big plays. Like Kawhi had an amazing game. Even you have an amazing game by a player. I think that we had a really good 2 games. And if you're a basketball fan, I think it's a pleasure to watch.
I thought we played better in Game 2 than Game 1, and we won Game 1. So I think they're feeling the same way. This series should be 1-1. Either team could say, man, we could be up 2-0. Well, both teams could say, man, we could be down 0-2. And I think you have to embrace the moment. This is what you want.
Coach Adams done a great job making adjustments. For first time coaching in the playoffs as the head coach, he's done a really good job. And so, we just got to keep fighting, keep competing. We know we're dealing with the best player in the world right now. Just got to keep showing different coverages and keep going.
Just try to make it difficult on him, man. Like, you swarm him.
we just try to be smart because obviously if you just run at him, he's going to pick you apart just because he's that good. But I think we did a really good job on him last 2 games. So we got to be even better for, the next, few games in order for us to be successful.
Kawhi obviously put up those 39 points, guys, in game 2, but we didn't even really talk about as much as we should. Nikola Jokic with another triple-double. He's obviously so integral in what, the Nuggets can do. Carlos, I mean, when he's putting up a triple-double, what else, I guess, does everyone surrounding him need to do? Or are we just going to try and ride, what Nikola Jokic can do for this team to try and win one on the road?
Well, that's where you got to pick your poison if you're the Clippers, right? Do you want Jokic to go off for 45 or do you want the others to get involved? He seems to almost do both every game. The thing I'm going to say with Jokic is if he can keep his turnovers down, he's doing a great job in this series. But last game, he had 7 turnovers. Some of them were kind of crucial. If he keeps his turnover down, that means they got more possessions to maybe get an assist, maybe get a bucket, maybe get a rebound, whatever the case may be. But they feed off of Jokic. Whatever he does, he moves the ball. The ball has energy. He rebounds the basketball. He gives his teammates confidence by the way he plays. So I'm looking for Jokic to do that again tonight in Game 3.
It has been interesting with the turnovers. Whatever team has more of them, 20 plus, they're usually the team that loses. But for the Clippers, we talked a little bit about Kawhi. In Game 1, though, Q, it was all about James Harden. Are these two just going to kind of ping pong a little bit?
Absolutely, man. I think James Harden is comfortable as a guy. He's a system. He's been an all-star this year. I think he's had an all-NBA year. And I think he's the perfect year in the Kawhi's lane. He knows how they play well and fit well together. I think when Kawhi gets going, he knows how to find his spots. And Harden always has the ball. He's controlling everything in the game. So I think he's been super solid, and he gives them more of a chance to win when he's playing the way he's been playing.
This Game 3 is tonight at 10 o'clock on our air on NBA TV. It is definitely going to be a fun one. But the first game on tap for this Thursday night, we're counting it down to tip-off in downtown Detroit. Pistons and Knicks, Kate Cunningham back at home. Welcome back to Playoff Central Live. The Knicks and the Pistons. All right, guys, give me your take. Who you got for Game 3?
This is at home. I'm going to go with the Detroit basketball.
Same. I got the Pistons, man. I think Kate goes crazy.
All right, let's see who takes the advantage in this series tonight. We'll get you out to Little Caesars Arena in a bit. Don't forget to join us for the Nuggets and Clippers right back here on NBA TV. We'll see you then.